Hey friends, it's Southern Squishes and welcome back to another video. If you're watching this right now, be sure to like and subscribe. Today, we are going to dive into another Toy Craze series video, this time about a company that I really personally love. I have so much admiration for this company and I've even partnered with them in the past for some PR and made some content for them. That's right, you guys guessed it, it is Squishmallows, if you couldn't already tell. At one point, I had over 700 Squishmallows. I can't remember the exact number. I've done videos on it before of me counting them. I think it got up to like 760 something Squishmallows, and then a couple months ago, I actually downsized, so the number's probably closer to like the mid 600s by now. Before we get into the video, I want to share something really cool with you guys. So since I have worked with Squishmallows in the past, I have these really cool boxes that they've sent me. I'm not going to show you all of them, but for example, here's a Mallow Mash box, Squishmallows Day. I can't remember what this one was for, honestly. Easter. This box is actually really cute. And then I have another Halloween one, a Christmas one, and a birthday box. Those ones are currently all being used for storage, so I'm not going to pull them out, but just know that they are very cute. All right, we're just gonna hop into the nitty gritty now. The reason you guys are here, Squishmallows, the pillows that aren't exactly pillows, the stuffed animals that aren't exactly animals, and the toys that convinced grown adults to sprint into Walgreens at 6 a.m. like it was the Olympics of plush. Guilty. They've had, in my opinion, one of the wildest journeys of any toy brand in the last decade. From humble beginnings in 2017 to world domination in the middle of a pandemic, and finally the inevitable burnout from oversaturation. So today, we're gonna break down the rise and fall of the popular Squishmallows. Squishmallows were created in 2017 by a company called Kelly Toy, and at first, nobody really knew what they were. Some people did, but not like they do now. The original Squishmallows squad had only 8 characters, some including Cam the cat, Fifi the fox, and Wendy the frog. Your basic starter pack of plush friends, they were soft, round, and marshmallowy, designed to be like half pillow, half stuffed animal. But back then, when they first came out, they weren't exactly flying off the shelves. You would mostly find them in drugstores like Walgreens or sitting all by itself in a claw machine, waiting for somebody with $2 and impeccable joystick skills. They were cute, but not yet a craze, more like, oh hey, that's a neat little plush, rather than must collect them all. Then something very important happened. Kelly Toy was acquired by Jazzwares, which is a much bigger toy company. I can't find if it was acquired by them in 2019 or 2020, so if you know, then let me know, because I'm finding both answers. I'm finding it was 2019, and I'm also finding it was 2020. Either way, this is very important because this gave Squishmallows more reach. Suddenly, they weren't just in Walgreens and drugstores, they were getting rolled out to much bigger chains. New characters were being added constantly, and with each new drop, the designs got way more creative. There was all type of animals, food, mythical creatures. There was something for everyone. This was the setup stage. The foundation was built, and then the world changed in 2020. 2020. The year that we all locked ourselves inside, hoarded toilet paper, and cried into our sourdough starters. You see, while the world was falling apart, Squishmallows were quietly setting themselves up for world domination. Here's why. People wanted comfort, distraction, something to fill the endless void of quarantine. And on top of that, everyone was glued to TikTok. Squishmallows checked every single box. They were cute, they were soft, and most importantly, they were collectible. It was the perfect storm for internet virality. You guys know what I'm getting at, right? Virality? Did I say that right? Videos of people showing off their Squishmallows collections spread like wildfire. Suddenly, they weren't just stuffed animals, it was a lifestyle. And here's the genius part. Every Squishmallow had its own little character bio. You weren't just buying a frog, you were buying Wendy the frog who likes basketball and science. This gave collectors an emotional attachment. Suddenly, it wasn't just about plushies, it was about personalities, squads, and completing sets. By 2021, Squishmallows were at their absolute peak. Stores could not keep them in stock. Hunting Squishmallows became a full-time hobby for some people. I know it was my full-time hobby. Genuinely, I can't remember when I started collecting. It was either at the beginning of 2021 or the beginning of 2022. Guys, I genuinely cannot remember. I will put it in this video though, but it was like my full-time job. Also, the resale market for these was insane. There were so many resellers because a Squishmallow you could grab for $15 at Target was going for $200 on other websites. As I'm editing this video, I just hit the part where I'm talking about the resale values on the Squishmallows, and I want to touch on that subject really quick. So I gave an example about buying a $15 Squishmallow and then somebody turning around and reselling it for $200. That was just an example, but it really goes to show like how people were buying and reselling Squishmallows. I'll give you another example. There was a Squishmallow named Jack the Black Cat that Squishmallows sold on their website. It was a select series. There was only 500 in existence. People bought them and then started reselling them. You could still get them to this day. They're very rare, but you're gonna be paying anywhere from like $500 to $1,000. At one point, Squishmallows did go to VidCon and they actually rolled these back out. So they made more Jack the Black Cats, and those also go anywhere between $500 to $1,000. So between like 2021 and 2023, we were just in an era of pure Squishmallow chaos. People lining up at stores before sunrise, Facebook groups dedicated to trading and selling. It was the best. Five Below used to have drops like, was it like every Sunday or was it like once a month on Sundays? I don't remember, but I used to be at every single one of them, and there used to be a line going out of my Five Below. I used to live for the Sunday drops. And we all know in the Squishmallow community, there were certain Squishmallows that if you had those, woo, you were untouchable. Like a lot of the cows, a lot of the Bigfoots, they were super hard to find. To get them, you would have had to show up at a store right when they opened. Otherwise, if you really wanted it, you were gonna be paying twice the price online. You guys, the thrill was in the hunt. Walking into a store and finding that Squishmallow that you were so desperately searching for was like winning the lottery. And if you didn't find one, well, you could always fork over your rent money to buy it on eBay. This was Squishmallows mania at its absolute peak. But here's the thing about toy crazes, which we all know if you've watched my past videos, they all almost always collapse under their own weight. I'd say by late 2023, Squishmallows were becoming not so rare anymore. Those cows and those Bigfoots that everybody was going after were a lot easier to find. Jazzwares cranked up production and suddenly the once elusive cows were everywhere. There is no more needing to wake up at Walgreens at the butt crack of dawn just to find a rare Squishmallow anymore. You can walk into Five Below right now and find a whole pile of them just sitting there. I know every time I walk into my Walgreens now, which I really don't go there too often anymore, I see the same ones have been sitting there for months. Same thing with my Five Below. It's no secret that the exclusivity of it is just gone. And with it, the hype has died down. Something I've noticed as well, and I don't know if it's because they're trying to cut costs or what have you, the last couple of events like Season of Squish, Mallow Mash, and this past Squishmallows Day, there hasn't been any merch for sale. So usually with their Season of Squish event, their Mallow Mash event, they will sell merch online. Along with the exclusive Squishmallows that they sell online, they'll sell like hoodies, t-shirts, mugs. I know this previous Mallow Mash and Season of Squish and Squishmallows Day, there was no merch for sale. I don't know about all the previous ones. I know like back in 2022, 2021, they had merch. But I feel like for the last couple of years, I don't know what's going on. So I feel, they didn't go to VidCon this year. So I think that also has a lot to do with, it's just signs that the hype is gone, friends. But even though the craze has cooled, you cannot deny the cultural impact. For a few years, Squishmallows were the comfort object of a generation, and still are for some. I mean, for me, I will always love Squishmallows. But I think for a lot of us, we're not after them the way we used to be. Squishmallows gave people something soft to hold on to during one of the most stressful times in modern history. They helped create massive online communities, friendships, and even a whole economy of hunting and reselling. They honestly followed the same arc as Beanie Babies in the 90s. Huge hype, insane prices, and then a sharp cooldown. So while the craze may have fallen, Squishmallows themselves aren't going anywhere. They'll always have a place on people's beds, couches, or massive plush piles that double as furniture. And I must say, Squishmallows is out here putting out some really cool collabs. I love Squishmallow collabs. They collab with Pumas to make some really cool sneakers, Crocs to make some awesome shoes, lip smackers, all type of makeup collabs. I could honestly go on and on. I can't believe that I forgot to add this in the video, but just to prove that the trend, the fad is over, every time I go to Goodwill now for like the past year, I find so many Squishmallows. I used to really enjoy going to Goodwill and trying to find Squishmallows. You couldn't find them, so when you did, it was really exciting. Now, every time I go, I can expect to find at least like 10 Squishmallows, if not more. So that's the rise and fall of Squishmallows. From their quiet start in 2017 to their pandemic superstardom, then to their inevitable burnout due to oversaturation. So you guys, tell me in the comments, what is the rarest Squishmallow that you own or one that you paid way too much for? And did you guys ever line up for a Squishmallow drop? That is all that I have for you guys today. But if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.